Hi, and welcome to my TED Talk. This is gonna be different. This isn't gonna be the same as the other things you've watched, other things you've graded or are gonna grade. This is my speech. This is my beta for oral com. And honestly, in the vast amount of topics I could talk about, the current situation in the Philippines, how everything is going wrong. I can talk about COVID, the government, religion, homophobia, racism, everything that's happening in America, the election that happened there, and how childish governments are. Or I could talk about something that will far proceed, like that will far progress beyond politics or religion. Something that keeps going into the future. Something that will keep progressing constantly and keeps changing. And that's gonna be games. More specifically games. Video games. And I could talk about how League of Legends, it has this influence on the vast majority of games. Or I could talk about esports. I can talk about legends such as Shroud, Faker. Elder Scrolls is a game where you play as a character that you want. You can create your own character, you can become anyone you want. It's basically like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. You're set in Tamriel, province in the world of Elder Scrolls. In the first game, Elder Scrolls Arena, it was very basic. Elder Scrolls 2 gave a little bit more lore, though it is a very old game. And me personally, I've never played it. I'm gonna talk about the first official, real releases of Elder Scrolls, and that's gonna be Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is unlike every fictional universe. It's different. It doesn't have a real world touchstone, such as Romans, Nords, Greeks, etc. The world you're thrown into is believable yet fantastical. It has conventional tropes such as guilds, mages, wood elves, barbarians, orcs, and bandits, which makes it still very relatable to the player. In Morrowind, you play as a prophesized god player. You play as a prophecy, someone who's prophesized to slay gods. In Elder Scrolls 4, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, it is played safe. It's set in jungle forest theme. It's more a generic fantasy world. You can clearly tell that it was very much influenced by Lord of the Rings, because jungle theme, and even the main villain in the game, you could tell by its themes, its colors, basically everything about it. But despite that, Bethesda, the game developers, made a DLC, a downloadable content pack, right? That's the Shivering Isles. And honestly, the Shivering Isles is the best DLC that I've ever known. And that's because of Shiro Gorath, the most beloved, wacky, zany mad god, Shiro Gorath. In this, you play as a prisoner turned champion of Cyrodiil, which obviously, since you're only a prisoner, it creates a clean opportunity for a clean slate, for a clean role-playing character. You're no one set to become a someone, a champion of Cyrodiil. In the 5th installment, the most legendary game of all time, and that's Skyrim. If you've never heard of Skyrim before, you live under a rock, or you're actually a social person. You live outside. You're not an indoor person. You don't play games. You've never played a single game in your life. And if you have played games, and you've never heard of Skyrim, you're dead to me. And honestly, it's amazing how some people have never heard of Skyrim, despite it being on every platform in the world, apart from phones, because that game is amazingly large. It has a huge map, and honestly, the content that you can do in that game, every path you could take, every choice, every build you can do, is honestly fascinating. You can spend thousands of hours in Skyrim playing one build, and the vast majority of builds, the amazing builds that you could play, that is playable, just raises the standards, raises the bar so high for every other RPG. It's set in a Scandinavian setting, and with so many awards to it, with 20 million copies, it's honestly amazing. Despite it being a decade old, it still releases on brand new consoles, like I said. Not yet confirmed for the new consoles, such as the PS5 and the Xbox. The new one. The one that looks like a fridge. And honestly, the replayability of this game is off the charts, off the roof. Like I said, you could play so many games, you can play so many builds, you can create your own character. You are who you are. You are who you want to be. You can become an assassin, a mage, or you could just shout at people off roofs. You play as a dragonborn, a Dovahkiin. You have dragon blood. And the things you could do in this game is amazing. And the modding scene of this game is far more superior. It adds new content constantly, and it's free. Well, it depends on where you look for it. Elder Scrolls Online, a dead game. It's a multiplayer game. It's an online game. And it's honestly just keeping Elder Scrolls alive. The Three Banners Alliance's lore is very weak. I don't like it myself, but other people enjoy it. It just keeps Elder Scrolls relevant. For me and some other people, it's not very fun. It doesn't have the same craziness and fantasy of the original Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls allows you to be anyone, because you can literally make your own character. And I could talk about the worlds, the scenery, and I'm going to just show that while I'm talking, because honestly, this game is downright beautiful, and it's amazing how much a console, how much a developer, how much a studio can make a game so beautiful. The world building is actually amazing. It's its own world. It's its own universe. The unreliable narrator. This game forces you to make your own conclusions. It doesn't have one specific truth. It has no glossary, no encyclopedia of facts, no omission of understanding of all things. It talks about lore through in-universe characters that tell stories via books or dialogue, and that is perspective-based by it. is perspective-based or biased. It is subjective and is a perspective understanding of the world that the character lives in. Characters have different values, beliefs, and origins. And as you can see, you can digitally become anyone. You can become a tiger, a lizard, an orc, an ugly person, or just anyone. Even if you look hard into it, there is no definitive answer. Because of this, it creates mystery, deepens every aspect of the world. It forces the player to make their own opinion on what they experience, since they don't have a real truth and no definitive answer. It makes the player make their own opinions on what they experience, since they don't have real truths and no definitive answer. For example, Red Mountain. There is no agreed canon, even in the studio, people who made it. And it forces the player to make their own conclusion. Since there is no definitive truth, the magic is there. It doesn't become mundane. It doesn't become official. It makes you actually involved and engulfed in being swallowed by the game. You look more into everything. It deepens the aspect of the world. When there is a definitive truth, the magic is gone. Excitement of mystery is gone. It simply becomes mundane. It chooses to view facts of the world through limited understanding of the people within it. And because of these, it sparks childlike imagination. I can go on and spur about the lore in each of the games, but that, like Skyrim, in the thousands of hours I played in it, would also take too long. Or I can talk about the thing that keeps the series alive. Young Scrolls, who makes music taken out of context from the game, and are actually really good. Some of the songs are dialogue, and then the mod makers always keep it fresh and memey. And the memes, of course. The infamous, "Hey you, you're finally awake," and then I was like an adventurer like you, then I took an arrow to the knee. Elder Scrolls is a game that's in many people's hearts. People have wasted and invested thousands and thousands of hours into Skyrim. And that's just Skyrim. A lot more people played Oblivion, Morrowind, and online. Elder Scrolls is a game, a series that has influenced so many other games, so many other more RPGs, that it keeps raising the standards so high that it makes the genre good. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
start, start, bazooka, start, 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 'cause you're my start, 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 bazooka, start, 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 'cause you're my start, 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 bazooka, start, 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 'cause you're my start, 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 bazooka, start, 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 'cause you're my start. You're the perfect person for a guy like me, and I know for sure that we're meant to be. If your heart is locked, then I may have a key. Could you please be mine? Hey, you trapped my soul, you broke my law. I think you're fake, 'cause you stole my heart, stole my heart, trapped my soul, trapped my soul like bazooka. Start, 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 bazooka. Start, 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 'cause you're my start, 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 bazooka. Start, 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 'cause you're my start.